Well, this was just brought to my attention, so I thought I'd make a video about it. This is apparently an insider leak on the current happenings inside Blizzard. Will be interesting to see if this turns out to be true. Um, Personally, I already read through it, and a lot of it has some merit, but I don't know how real this is. But I'm gonna read through it again for you. I'm dropping this here after getting chewed out for 3 hours over shit the Chewy did at work, so fuck it. Assume LARP and let me vent. Shadowlands is a shit show. Critical response, player drop off, and just about every engagement metric outside of the cash shop has been catastrophic. No higher up expected this because of their "we are too big to fail, if we built it they will come" mentality. I honestly believe that this part is probably true. They refuse to accept their focus on the world being a begrudged mechanic to funnel players to rating is not appealing to the player base at large because it appeals to them. They have spent the last 4 months trying to course correct, but there is no solid direction, and the response to 9.1 has only made things worse. Sylvanas, this is spoilers if this is true, Sylvanas' plan to replace the Arbiter, despite so many people in the company, and God knows how many online, saying this would be a total replication of Kerrigan's storyline in StarCraft 2 that killed the non-competitive interest in the brand entirely, and you can only go, no, no, they will like it eventually, for so many real-world years before it's time to change course. Thus far, that has not happened. Yeah, I mean, Kerrigan's storyline in StarCraft 2 was just sad, I guess. I didn't really like the direction that they took with it, and I'd be really stupid if they did it with Sylvanas too. But anyway, the elephant in the room is Final Fantasy XIV. To the people in charge, they are acting like this came out of nowhere and don't even seem to understand why it's drawing players away in their tens of thousands. We have all tried to highlight things it is doing that are clearly appealing to an MMO audience and not, in my opinion, focusing more on mobile game style retention traps to keep MAU users uh, and habit forming personalities logging in. It's not that they don't care, they just seem so pig headed and digging their heels in with their fingers in their ears, thinking all the problems will go away because WoW is too big to fail. There will never be real competition, and they will keep coming back. But they aren't coming back anymore, not in the numbers that they used to. And this is really interesting. This is the part where I genuinely believe that this is true. I believe that the people that are at Blizzard, they just don't care. Or it's not that they don't care, it's that they like don't understand that they're not too big to fail anymore. But anyway, oh man, reading this makes me frustrated, so I'm sorry. The people making the spending choices know this. The new model for WoW is market the hell out of an expansion for a huge quarter, then use 6-month lock-ins to pad numbers for the quarters after that. Yeah, I talked about this before. Even if Corona had not happened, 9.1 would still have been dropping after the initial 6-month subs expired to keep the chain holding. The mood in the company is tense, but also very much it's just a rough transition period. Activision has been pushing hard for Blizzard to release more regular product and to generate more income per user. As far as I know, this is going to be a transition over the next 5 years to a much larger mobile/tablet gaming focus. By all accounts, not just WoW, but Overwatch has intended to be the moneymaker in the interim, but once again, someone had the bright idea to kill a game casual players loved on the altar of esports, hoping for another brood war. True. From what I hear, the told you so's were loud and a lot of people walked beyond Kaplan. The sentiment was shared quietly in private but being spoken more often is simply that the leadership at Blizzard are not bad people nor incompetent people, but people who had to fill seats left when the old guard jumped ship, whether they were suited for it or not. Brack is a genuinely good man out of his depth. Ian is a fantastic raid designer put in charge of designing a virtual world he has no interest or real ideas for, and so on. I agree with that. They promote people that are doing really good at their current job to a point where they're no longer doing their job well. It's like they're I don't know what the term is for it, but you take people that are really, really good at something, and because they're doing so well at that, you think, well, they deserve a promotion, and then they're no longer relevant because the things that they're good at, they're not doing those anymore. They're doing something else. But that happens a lot. So, oh man, they've been taken from the roles they excel at, taken from the roles they excel at, to be put in positions where they get to do far less of that purely because there is nobody left with the experience to do so, and the trickle down is a lack of concrete direction, ambition, and focus. Yep. 2021 has seen the player base, media, and gaming at large turn on WoW to a degree I don't think the leads in their positivity dojo bubble considered possible. It's gone from people going, this is how Blizz needs to fix WoW, to WoW is no longer salvageable, time for greener pastures. And I think on some level this was never considered a possibility, so there have never been any major plans beyond the usual try and minimize player drop-off by arranging releases around competitors, launching updates/products. So here's the thing. There's not a lot of people that say WoW is no longer salvageable. They're just so sick of Blizzard not doing anything correctly that they're going to try other things. Right? It's not that it's not salvageable, it's that they're getting sick of playing a game and paying for a game that isn't actually doing anything. They're just sitting there waiting for the next update. Meanwhile, there are other games to play, and a lot of them are actually good. But I do agree that their player drop off is because of their own inability to actually put out content that people like. But anyway, the official forums being filled with talk of Final Fantasy XIV and worse, why do we actually pay a sub, hasn't helped. Right. I stopped subbing, like my sub runs out in about 3 weeks. However, that doesn't mean I'm never going to play the game ever again. It just means that I'm waiting until the game is worth playing again. I've had a lot more fun playing other games. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. There has been some testing the waters lately from certain higher-ups. If we can remove the line, no king rules forever, which this part sounds stupid. Read into what you will. And again, all of this could be completely fake. I have no idea. There are still arguments going on about Kael'thas's voice actor shit show. I don't know much about it, but I know it's heated. Wouldn't be the first time a knee-jerk reaction only seemed to generate bad press. We lost a noticeable amount of PvP engagement after the Swifty thing. The Preach interview was treated as a disaster, and there was talk of more strongly vetting interviewers for bad actors and only engaging with a list of questions Blizzard provides. Then why even do the interviews? But anyway, some pointed out that could just be used to create some form of fireside chat akin to the Final Fantasy XIV live letters, but that fell on deaf ears. There's a lot. The two sentiments right now among the team are either we really need a win or there's a dedicated cabal of internet trolls out to kill WoW. Right now we are crunching hard to get 9.2 ready to wrap up the Jailer storyline so we can get an expansion out early 2022. If that doesn't happen, there are talks of major shakeups coming down from Activision that have been threatened for a few years now. It's an all-hands-on-deck feeling that's been around to some degree since the is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke BlizzCon? A make-or-break deadline is coming closer, and things like Diablo 4 were not at all planned before then. Blizzard needs a significant win, not just in initial profit, but consumer goodwill. Nobody likes working at what the public now seems to see as the bad guy of the MMO industry. This has also made new hires decline, not significantly, but the "you want Blizzard on your resume" line doesn't seem to have the appeal it used to. This has led to more hiring via friend of a friend, to some rumblings about nepotism, and people severely lacking in experience because they get great Twitter optics. I don't personally believe this part. I don't know. I would imagine that, yeah, less people are trying to work at Blizzard, but I don't think it's to the point where they're trying to just hire their friends. That doesn't seem realistic to me. But anyway, on the topic of Twitter, we are now being told to disengage from it. Multiple employees like Nervig and Haliski publicly attacking paying customers because they got too heated and couldn't keep quiet is bad press that could have been avoided. An email reminder has gone around more than once lately saying if you are not customer relations, you should not be representing the company to customers, especially if you cannot remain professional. And lastly, the biggest elephant in the room is ya boy Asmongold. The newer hires cannot stand him. They have used terms like toxic masculinity and dog whistles to dangerous males, while some of the oldest crowds still remaining have called him based and telling it like it is, which has led to friction, to put it mildly. People are told not to talk about him, and the recent Final Fantasy XIV stuff only made it all worse. The idea that an outside element can have such an effect on the product genuinely upsets people. Like Zack is engaging in some malicious act of cyber warfare. Many of us have many of us have pointed out the now famous quotes by Naoki Yoshida about understanding that players will drift and we need to make something worth coming back to because they want to, but some people, for lack of a better word, see our customers, or consumers as they refer to them nowadays, as some kind of antagonistic relationship where the goal is not being an entertainer putting on a show for a crowd, but some kind of game hunter trying to trap a large, profitable kill. And I think that's the big problem with a lot of game developers right now. They're just trying to get your money. They're not actually trying to give you a service that you want. They're trying to basically trick you into spending money, which I think is absolutely deplorable. But anyway, I wish I could blame Activision, but this is a sentiment from more of the younger crowd than the tech boomers, which, personal opinion, is probably why so many folks like Metzen and Morheim left. I mean, it's plausible. Before you ask, yes, the topic of wokeness has shown up in group talks. It's not all some grand SJW conspiracy. People really do want people to feel welcome and represented. However, the we need everything vetoed by people not working on it to see if it's inoffensive and bland enough rubs some of us the wrong way. Like anything in life, you can take something too far and lose sight of the core ideals. And with everything gone since Blitzchung, it feels like people are forming little factions to pull people in different directions to decide what Blizzard's identity is now and how to appeal to new players. There has been some drop-offs with go woke, go broke as the only answer in the survey when unsubbing, but honestly, we are losing subs in unforeseen numbers anyway, and still making more money than ever through Cash Shop heavy users. So it honestly doesn't make an impact. Yeah, Cash Shop heavy users. Because they're making more money than ever because of the Cash Shop heavy users. Oh well, I guess. All in all, things are rough right now. Blizzard doesn't have the love of the customers anymore, is no longer treated as an industry giant, and while I don't know about that, no longer treated as an industry giant, I disagree with that heavily. Uh, and while Diablo 4 and Diablo 2 Remastered and Immortal aren't going to kill Diablo, even if they fail, the sentiment for World of Warcraft and Overwatch 2 are a lot more tense and stressful. The phrase, it might be good to brush up on your mobile development portfolio if we get another underperformer, has been doing the rounds a lot. If Shadowlands continues its stark decline and Overwatch 2 is looking to underperform like its current projections suggest, I think the Blizzard of a few years from now will be imitating King a lot more than trying to learn any lessons from Square Enix's MMO division. And that's that. That's the whole post. I'm going to post in the description down below if you want to read it for yourself. Uh, like I said before, I genuinely don't know how real this is, but a lot of the points that they're talking about seem extremely plausible, right? The whole mobile game development thing is the one that really strikes a chord with me because I do believe that's the direction that most companies are going to be going soon. And I think Blizzard would be the most likely to be doing it because they know how much money they can make with it. And yeah, out of all of these different points that they made, they are all very, very um, realistic. So yeah. But anyways, I just thought I'd make a video about this because honestly, um, when I read it last night, I was just shocked, and I thought it might be a good idea for people to see this. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, please like the video. And if you want to see more content from me, please subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.